Hello and welcome back to The Focus, finding outstanding classrooms using social media. Today I'm really excited to be joining Ryan Porter. He is from Toronto, Canada, and Ryan has started up a new site called Raise Your Flag, which has got kind of a unique angle on education and how he feels about the traditional four-year model. I'm really impressed by Ryan's enthusiasm and passion and really want to share his message with our audience. So without further ado, Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Don. I'm stoked to be on your show here and to talk about some stuff that I feel pretty passionate about. I guess I should start off by giving you kind of the Cliff's Notes version of how I ended up doing what I'm doing. I'm assuming that's probably a good starting point.
Yeah.
So when I was 21 years old, I'm in my final semester of college. I'm living rent-free at my parents' house. I decided that I should drop out of college and move to the other side of the planet, to Tokyo, Japan. There's a company out there that hired me to teach English. I spent a year out there teaching. I meet a ton of really awesome people who had some incredible experiences. And I remember feeling kind of ripped off that none of these experiences were given to me when I was in high school, and nobody ever told me about these things or where I could go or how I could work. So I moved back to Canada, and I start traveling across the continent speaking to high school students. I wrote a book called Make Your Own Lunch, How to Live an Epically Epic Life of Epicness, and it's all about decision-making for post-secondary pathways. Of course, nobody knows that when they're reading it until they get to the end and they get excited about what's in there. Now, I was for the past couple of years, I've been spending a lot of time here in Canada speaking with high school students who aren't going to university or college. So there's these events where they bring in all of these students who aren't going to university or college, and they try to give them some work options. And I was speaking at this event a couple of years ago, and after the event's finished, this kid comes up to me, and he introduces himself as Michael, and he says, "Ryan, I'm so glad that you were here. Nobody knows that I'm here today." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Ryan, do you have any idea how embarrassing it is when all of your friends are opening up university and college acceptance letters, and you're sitting in the corner like a loser, not knowing what you're doing?" And that's where it kind of hit me that there's a group of students out there that's kind of forgotten by the high school system, right? And it's not so much that they're forgotten, it's not sometimes that they're not identified, it's sometimes that they haven't been vocal about what they want to do or what they don't want to do, and they're kind of just pushed off to the side. And originally I thought it was the minority of students in high school, but after looking at the stats in Canada and the United States, it's almost half of the kids in high school won't go to university or college as their first or their primary post-secondary destination. So we decided to do something about it. We founded a company called Raise Your Flag, and Raise Your Flag helps students who aren't going to university or college browse a bunch of careers that don't require a degree or diploma. They can make a career plan, and then they can share that plan on Facebook or Twitter or on email to show people what they're interested in and what they're trying to do. And then hopefully those people can give some guidance and give some help and give some suggestions on how they can do that.
That's really exciting. I know that within my own state, there's recently been a push to start having some kids look into technical and vocational areas, mostly because we're, I wouldn't say at a crisis level, but we're running out of the traditional finishing school type trades, plumbing, welding, things of that nature. Other than those technical trades, what other model student are you looking at?
So we're looking at students who, here's a perfect example. I had a student come up to me, she was a straight A student, on the student council, yearbook, captain of the volleyball team, and she was speaking to me, telling me that, everybody wants her to go to school to be a doctor. That's what everyone's telling her to do. And all she really wants to do is become a baker. She wants to bake cupcakes and cakes and put smiles on people's faces through her, bakery wizardry. And she went into her guidance counselor to talk about this, and her guidance counselor looked at her and said, "What a waste. What a waste of great grades, what a waste of talent or, natural ability." And what I think is that we're kind of breaking the mold of the traditional student who's going to work instead of university or college. 10 or 15 years ago, that would have been the underachiever, that would have been the kid who's like getting ready to drop out or maybe smoking in the parking lot. But today, because of the options that are available, there is no profile for that student who's not going to university or college. And let's face it, the majority of the careers on this planet can be done without university or college.
Yeah, I've noticed that lately there's been kind of this life hacker mentality that some students are looking to either MOOCs or other various forms of education. I know I've got some filmmakers in my midst, and some of them kind of want to go to four-year college, and some of them just want to start learning on their own by getting some on real-world practice. Have you also seen somewhat of a spike in interest from the startup culture and entrepreneurial feel kind of culture?
Yeah, I have. The problem that I have seen, though, is that everybody's still focusing on those technical type jobs where people are talking about you can hack education and become a developer. You can hack education, become an author. You can hack education to become a designer. But nobody's talking about how you can hack education to become a blogger, or hack education to become a baker, or to hack education to become a Zamboni driver. And I think it's time that we start looking at, the whole spectrum instead of just these really creative technical geniuses, the Steve Jobs and the Bill Gates. Let's look at the guy who's cleaning up our neighborhoods and installing parks and cleaning the subway. Like, these are all people who could possibly be super happy in their career, but no one's talking about.
Okay, so you've got this site, Raise Your Flag. Other than what you've already said, what is the one thing you always want people to know? What is that one thing that you're like, some people are missing the point on Raise Your Flag. It's really about this.
It's really about finding something that you want to do and doing it. I'm not the guy who's going to say, find your passion, because in this world that we live in, you can have a million passions. But find something that you might be slightly passionate about, that you might want to try as a career, and just get started. Like, just have a swing at it and see if you like. If you don't like it, great. It is not permanent. Switch, evolve, keep moving forward. But just get started on something that you want to get started on.
Now, obviously, you use social media quite a bit. Wouldn't that also be kind of a message to some of these students, is that they should be collaborating and finding other people in their area to start forming partnerships with?
Yeah, you're spot on. In fact, the next iteration of the site that we're going to be releasing in the next few weeks has a module when students are planning for a career that specifically asks them to go out and find a mentor and find places to volunteer and find people on social media. Because I think that having that person who's in that position that you might want to have one day coach you or give advice or mentor you a little bit, I believe that that's absolutely priceless and can put you on the fast track to whatever career it is that you want to be in.
So yeah, I see this perfect storm brewing for your kind of movement, because Daniel Pink, the author, was not too long ago talking about maybe even the dawn of finishing schools, coming back again, having internships. And the other part of this storm brewing is college debt. Four-year traditional college is starting to cripple our economy and riddle some students with debt. I can see a lot of students now starting to take a look at what you're talking about. So we have this interest, you have all this huge passion. Where might you direct them to get a hold of you or something like Raise Your Flag?
Sure. A good place to get a hold of me is on Raise Your Flag. I can be emailed at ryan@raiseyourflag.com. I'm on Twitter at ClaimTheFuture. I'm out there. You Google my name, you'll find me. Send me an email, send me a tweet. I read everything. I respond to everything. And really, at the end of the day, as corny and cliche as it sounds, I just want to help.
No, I think that definitely comes through. I've seen a number of your videos. I enjoy the one about the kids today. Your enthusiasm is definitely shining through. I think you're probably going to get a lot of inquiry here soon because of what I said earlier. It seems to be a perfect storm coming. I really appreciate all that you're doing. What's the one question, though, you always wish interviewers would ask you?
What I wish people would ask is things along the lines of, what isn't education doing right now? And I think the answer to that question is iterating, right? Education has this drawn out process of proposing things and shooting them down, proposing things, maybe approving them, and maybe seeing a watered down version of it. And what I really wish that education was doing right now is treating the system like software and putting out their best iteration right now and then improving and improving and improving. But instead we got caught in this cycle of just debating where's education failing the kids, and nothing ever happens.
Oh, I couldn't agree. That's, you know what, I hate to say that's a great point to end on, but I think that was as pointy as you get. Well, Ryan, again, I want to thank you for being on here. If you want to get a hold of him, I have all of his information on the link below. Obviously, this guy is passionate about what he's talking about. Is traditional four-year school starting to become a little less attractive? That's for us to debate. Matter of fact, if you'd like to comment on the links below, I would love it. Make sure you contact Ryan if you need anything. I really, really appreciate it. If you have any other suggestions on who might be on the show, on the Focus Show, please make sure you email me at dwetrick@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining today. And remember, opportunities are everywhere.